Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to. He's kind of, well, tea, coffee. I should do new titles. But in tea time's more 4 o'clock, isn't it? Everyone stops for tea. But this isn't. This is a mangled introduction. We're doing Better Call Saul. So I've got the prop. Some of you old farts might remember in the old days when they used to do Breaking Bad roundups, reviews, critiques. I don't know what you'd call it. Do you remember that? They're all gone now. They all got lost in the Great Purge. But seeing as it is the final season of Better Call Saul, I thought I'd talk about it. Why not? Something to talk about. Let's talk about telly, because we've talked about everything else. And yeah, it came back. We had 2 episodes, a double header dropped. In America, it would have been the 18th of April. For here, it was the 19th. For I watched them early this morning to avoid any kind of spoilerisms of the internet. And so that's where I warn you that there may be spoilerisms for this point onwards. So, go and watch the episodes, because I may talk plot points. I don't know what I'm going to say, because I haven't talked about Better Call Saul for a long time. Because when it initially started, very slow. It's a very slow, almost glacial character study. And there's the doorbell. Don't you love it when that happens? Diabetic testing strips, among other things. I don't know what the other thing is. Oh. What's that? This one feels like it's got some heft to it. It's turned into an unboxing. What is it? What could it be? I don't know. Oh, this is cool. So I've got fed up with all the this is where we go all over the place. I got fed up with all the Allen keys on my desk and falling on the floor. So I got myself a special tool which has all the Allen keys in, so they will no longer fall on the floors. I forgot that. I didn't think it was arriving today. So yeah, it's a little tool. A tool for a tool. There you go. I'm so excited. And my diabetic test strips, which taken nearly a fortnight to get here since I ordered them, because my doctor's surgery is frankly, I can't say anything because you can't complain. Because if you complain about the NHS, they kick you out of the surgery and then you haven't got a doctor. So got to grin and bear it. This is me grinning and bearing it. Anyway, what was I talking about? Better Call Saul. Yeah, it was a slow burn character study. Again, for those who don't know, it was a continuation of Breaking Bad, a prequel series to Breaking Bad, where one of the breakout characters, Saul Goodman, in this instance, Jimmy McGill, we see his development from, rogue into rogue. He's always a rogue. A good guy who doesn't necessarily break bad, but he wants to. He just wants love. It's a love story. He wants to be loved and appreciated, and he doesn't get it from his brother. He doesn't get it from the people around him. Gets it a bit from his girlfriend, wife. I did say to get married, Kim Wexler, who is probably the greatest female character written in the Vince Gilligan universe, because they never did a very good job with any of the female characters on Breaking Bad, but with Kim, they've created a wonderful character. And so here we are in the final season, and many are probably tuning in, waiting for it to dovetail expertly with Breaking Bad, because we're getting there, and it's interesting because we're seeing the old flip phones and the burner phones. That's the only thing that really kind of puts it in the, what would it be? It'd be the, call it the noughties, don't they? In that period, the internet isn't such a big thing. They don't mean, nowadays everything would be internet, wouldn't it? So don't talk about it. So it is placed. It is placed as a place, a time and a place. And many things have happened, and it's all been, like I say, character development. You're going to see why he is the way he is and what's made him, and that's the fascinating slow burn process of all of this. And it ended, season 5 ended with Kim's character mirroring what Jimmy/Saul did at the end of season 4. There's lots of mirroring and foreshadowing in this show. Objects are important too. How so? Well, I'll explain. It opens this first episode called "Wine and Roses." Days of wine and roses. It's a song, isn't it? I think it was also was it a film or a book or something? Anyway, it's about when they talk about wine and roses. It's reflecting on the past. It's when times were better. So that's the indicator. Opens with, again, it's a funny thing. It's supposed to be a flash forward, but normally the flash forwards in this are in black and white, and this one was not in black and white. It was in colour, and it shows you. I guess it's a clearance company. I mean, if it was the police, wouldn't they be bagging everything up for evidence? I mean, it could be the police, but it looked like a house clearance of Saul's house with a completely golden toilet. He has a golden throne, and we see the opulent lifestyle that he lived. And it doesn't look like it's necessarily a single man's house, because it's a big old house. Interesting though, I think it's a little object, a thong. Wasn't there a thong in the bathtub? But as it pans through, it's like a one camera kind of tracking shot, kind of tracking out of the house. We see something drop to the floor and roll into the curb. It's one of those bottle tops, the tops from the liquor that Saul, Jimmy, likes to steal with Kim, which again I think is also echoed in Breaking Bad. There's references all over the place. Again, it's pretty hard to keep all the references in place, and I'm not one of those people that's writing it all down. I just enjoy the show. There are other people out there that write whole essays on it. That's not what this is about. But yeah, it carries on after the flash forward shot. It carries on very much with the aftermath of the attack on the compound. Yes, on Laylo's compound, with Laylo getting out and Nacho off as well. And we see the aftermath, and it's quite brutal. And the twins see the aftermath. And again, this is the new dynamic of the Salamancas being under attack, and who's attacked them. They know it's the Chicken Man. It's the Chicken Man. And we fast forward, into the second episode, and we see for the first time Gus is worried. And you never see his facade truly break. And this time we see it because he knows that Salamancas might be onto him. There's a lot going on there. Try and take out the Salamancas, but they're a big cartel family. It seems, again, it was always a bit of a strange strategy from Gus Fring, but there we go. It adds drama to the thing. I think some of these plot points you do think, it's there just to add drama. And of course we all wonder what's going to happen to Nacho, because Nacho isn't in Breaking Bad. And again, it's the characters that aren't in Breaking Bad that you worry about, because you wonder how they're. And it's Nacho, Kim, Laylo, though he's mentioned. One of the first lines that Saul mentions is, "Did Laylo put you up to this. Fascinating. But then you've also got this secondary storyline, and this is where the plots kind of diverge. We've seen Jimmy / Saul's plotline intermingle with the cartel, and now it's kind of diverging again. We've got this secondary plotline where they're taking down Howard Hamlin because they want the Sandpiper. Kim wants Jimmy Saul to have his fair restitution from the Sandpiper settlement. That's the idea. They're going to somehow wrestle it away from Hamlin McGill, and Howard Hamlin. And again, this is why I didn't quite. Again, not criticising character motivations. It's just Kim seems to have a real beef with Howard all of a sudden. And Howard, I always see as the truly innocent person in all of this, because he always, if you watch how he reacts to other people, he always treats people fairly. He's just manipulated by everyone, but he always tries to act with the wisdom of Solomon. He's an interesting. He's the only, I'd say, the only innocent character in the whole story. And this is where it's kind of going to be interesting. They're trying to frame him. They're trying to bring him down by a plot, and this is going to be their undoing. Because the big question is about what happens to Kim, and I think again she is the mystery. She is the mystery person in all of this. There's a great interview with Odenkirk, I think, 2 years ago now, when he says Kim Wexler is the person we know nothing about. We know nothing about her background. Who is she? Who is she really? And we saw hints of this in the second episode, Carrot and Stick. We'll get onto that. So yeah, the first episode sets you up for the plot points of the entire season. Salamancas are on attack. Gus is in defence, or trying to at least deflect. Nacho is running around, and we have this Sandpiper Hamlin McGill thing going on as well. That's where we are. We haven't even got to the show dovetailing with Breaking Bad. There are 13 episodes this season, and it's going to be a split. I think the 7th episode is going to be like what do you call it? A little pause, a mini break, and then we're going to have the rest in August 15th. So it's a long one. It's a long track, this one. I think they did a similar thing with Breaking Bad. Seems like a long time ago now. Anyway, second episode is called Carrot and Stick. And Carrot and Stick, you know what that is. You either offer them the carrot when you try and get somebody to do something for you. That is the treat, or you give them the stick. In this case, Jimmy Saul is the carrot and Kim is the stick. We bring in the characters from, oh God, I always forget their names. The people, Kettlemans. The Kettlemans from the first season. And they're they're bad people. But we're going to use them to try and take down Howard, or at least plant the seed of his destruction. But they're not to be trusted. After Saul, Jimmy plants baby powder / cocaine in his locker at the golf club, and you see in the first episode, and you get to see Bob Odenkirk in the All Together. What a glorious sight that is. What a glorious one for the ladies. They double down on that with the Kettlemans, trying to clear their name by insinuating that, more further than that, insinuating that Howard has a drug problem, and that's why he shouldn't have been representing them. Try and get it thrown out. Of course, this isn't going to go. This isn't going to go the way that it's going to be planned, and we have that with Mike. That is echoed. That dialogue is echoed with Mike, because Mike, on the other hand, they're doing stuff with Nacho, because they want to get Nacho out, and Gus kind of wants to sacrifice Nacho to the Salamancas. And Mike, again, is a guy of honour, He says, no. And there's a scene at the end where he says, this isn't going to go as you expect. You know, and that is the theme of the whole series. That is the theme of the series, and we've seen it already with Nacho escaping. He escapes the brothers. You know, wow, that was amazing, wasn't it? Pretty tense, that scene. And again, we're almost getting back into Breaking Bad. The way it's being shot and the way we've gone from Better Call Saul, well, now kind of it's, as the series is going on, the Breaking Bad DNA is entering in because we've got all the gangster stuff and whatnot happening. Gangster stuff, cartel stuff. They're not are they gangsters? I suppose you could say they are. But we are seeing the seeds of Kim's destruction being sown. And the key scene is when they're in the Kettleman's office trying to persuade them to, you know, don't. You're going nowhere with this. They know that they've been exploited and they're going to give it all up. Jimmy tries to buy him out, but Kim goes, no, time for the stick. And she knows that they're defrauding people. She knows what they are. Because I think she's a thief herself. You know, she's got a background. She's got a history. And she says, you don't know what it's like to lose. You didn't lose everything. You don't know what it's like to lose everything. And this catches Jimmy's attention. She's like, what's she talking about? Because we don't know anything about her. She proceeds to phone the law. She's going to drop them in it. She is going to grass them up. And she gets them to fall into line. And she shows a hard side to herself. You know, she's always had a hard, tough side to herself. But I think she's blinded to it. She's blinded by, again, a motivation. Is it doing right? She likes to defend people. She likes to defend the underclasses. She likes to defend those people rather than working with regular big high-profile cases. She prefers to do that. So she's for the little guy, but she doesn't like criminals. She's not a big fan of criminals. You know, she has whereas Jimmy kind of skirts morality, he goes all over the place, but he's a good guy at heart because he gave them the money anyway. She operates on a different level, and I've said this I don't know if I've made. I can't even remember if I've done any videos on this. She will be her own undoing, and we saw it because they are being followed at the end of the episode. Dun dun dun! They are being followed. They're being monitored. But who are they being monitored by? Is it the cartel, or is it, you know, one of the many legal firms that they have, brought in because of, you know, what they're trying to do to Howard? We'll find out soon. But I've always said that Kim doesn't get killed. I'm going out on the line. She doesn't end up dead. She ends up in prison because Saul Goodman, when we see him in Breaking Bad, he doesn't carry the weight of grief. He's not somebody who carried that kind of pain, you know. And the Gene we see in the black and white, you know, in Omaha at the Cinnabon, he's waiting for her because that's her local area. He's waiting for her to get out. He's hoping that she might one day walk into that Cinnabon, and that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping for. It is a romance, and it's a love story, and they will be reunited at the end. That's what I'm hoping for, because she ends up in clink because what she does to Howard, or tries to do, but she hasn't got the chops that Jimmy Saul's got, as you saw in the golf club, you know, trading on his name and calling a fuss, you know, when he knows things are going to. He plays it dumb, but he's always 2 steps ahead. So yeah, it's a great introduction back to it. But we've got a lot of episodes, and there's so much left to be done. You know, if you think about where the show ends up and what it needs to do, but we've also got all this other story to play out as well. So, I mean, crikey, there could be even more plot lines, couldn't there? There could even be more stories, you know, expanding out of this. The most chilling thing in this is the whole, you know, I was talking, I don't know if you saw Doctor Who review I did, I was talking about show and tell. You don't tell the audience, you show them. And there's a scene in this where Lalo goes to a local farmhouse and he's talking to the wife, and she's saying, oh yeah, great dental work, you know, because he asked about how her husband's teeth are, and gosh, ever since he's been to your dentist, it's been great. And he comes in, he's got a big beard, and he says, yeah, oh, you want to get rid of that? You look like ZZ Top. but keep the moustache and the soul patch. And so he looks like Laylo. And then he takes the scissors. And you don't see him do it. But you know he kills the wife and he kills the farmer. And he uses his body to replace him, replace his own, because he's got the same dental records, because that's what he was. He used him purely to get his own way, because Laylo is something else. He's a tactician, and that is why Gus Fring is scared, because he's never gone up against the Salamancas head on like this. And Laylo is probably the most interesting character in all of this, because you think he's a good guy, you think he's doing good things, like you'd like with the farmers, but maybe he's doing it for his own self-preservation. He's one of those characters, He's one of those characters. And him and Kim are kind of equally matched, I think. I think they're the opposite of each other. You see it in the showdown in the previous season. They are the two we need to watch in all of this. So yeah, I thought it was great fun. A bit nerve-wracking at the end of episode 2. Good to see the Kettlemans back. Good to see, and also the reference to the inflatable Statue of Liberty. Again, it all ties in. Imagery in that is it's very clever how it all kind of is interwoven. The writing on this is very, 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 very clever. And okay, I know I've complained about it being a slow burn, but boy, it's been fun, and I'm probably going to be sad when it all ends. I don't know if I'll do any more of these. Maybe, I don't know. Depends if anyone watches. Hopefully I haven't spoiled it for you. I did warn you at the beginning. I don't know if there's anyone in the chat room. Probably not. And this is Stranger Things 4. It was, the first one was all right. The second one, third one was, I don't know about Stranger Things. But I'll watch it when it drops. But I'm not really, I don't know. The problem with that show is the kids are going to grow up and they're going to have to do all sorts of time jumps and whatnot. And it was nice. The first one was a nice nostalgia fest, wasn't it? It was nice wallow in nostalgia, but I kind of got a bit bored with it after a while. But yeah, no, we're doing this. If you're nice, if you're good, I might talk about Severance, which is just finished on Apple TV Plus or whatever it's called. I really enjoyed that, but maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Anyway, thank you for watching. I've been talking about the first 2 episodes of the final season of Better Call Saul. You better do. And yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget, you can like this video or not, and you can subscribe or not, and we'll do this all again soon. Thank you for watching. Ta-da.